So this weekend at the Etihad Stadium is a really good fixture in terms of the strength of these two sides. Manchester City taking on West Ham United, who need to bounce back after a disappointing defeat against Wolves. They've got the chance to lift themselves, of course, taking on the Premier League champions, who are in great form after their brilliant win over PSG in midweek. I get the feeling this is going to be tough for West Ham because I think Manchester City, if you can call it turning a corner, are about to turn a corner. What do you think,
Yeah.
James?
I guess, well, is it more the sort of they're engaging the turbo boost now? It might be that. I think, yeah, they are purring, aren't they? And the fear is that they're going to just, I don't know, what's a better word than purring? I don't know. They're going to go into extra purr, whatever that is. The games that they've got coming up, I was just looking at it, after this one, Villa, Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle, Leicester, all difficult games, but all games that really Man City should be winning. And you make a great point there, because last season, I think we saw it, didn't we? We saw that sort of that gear change from them, and they went to the next level because just the quality was there. And I think the game against PSG and some of the personnel, you think Bernardo Silva in particular is just fantastic. And I think they work so hard, Man City. That's the thing that blows my mind with them. Is you see it in a lot of these different clubs. There's one or two of these stars that, okay, yeah, I'm going to take today off. No, that doesn't happen with Man City. To a man, and maybe it's down to the competition within the squad. They know they've got to go to the next level if they want to play for this great side, and it is a really, really good side. And I think going into this game, it's going to be interesting to see how West Ham get on, because generally they're quite happy not to have the ball. But Man City with the ball at the moment are pretty frightening at the moment. Do you think there's a chance for West Ham, who are currently sitting fourth, overall having a fantastic season? Do you see them being able to, of course, they're going to have to bend a little bit, but do you see them breaking in this game against this Man City side?
Well, look, the one thing I would say, if we're going to have any takeaways from the game against PSG, I went to in midweek, it's that West Ham United do not defend with 7 outfield players. So I think you're going to see more of a structure, more hard work from all 11 players in West Ham United's team. That will pose a different problem, maybe not a more difficult problem than Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, but certainly a different problem for Manchester City in terms of breaking down their defence. But remember, City beat PSG without Kevin De Bruyne, without Phil Foden, without Jack Grealish, Laporte, Fernandinho, Jesus on the bench. It's unbelievable, really, that they can put in performances like that without what was essentially their first choice team. But it's just the composure. It's just the control of the game. Tactically, they're there. Intensity is there. I really rate West Ham United. They have gone up, I think, several gears under David Moyes in his second stint in charge. I think the one thing that you have to say about them, particularly during their Europa League run, finishing at top of their group, is that the structure is there. The coaching is clearly there. The discipline is clearly there, because when they rotate their side and they make 8 or 9 changes, you still get a similar level of performance. That bodes so well for their future and what they can do over the next few seasons. New players are going to come in, and if they can fit in under David Moyes and he continues with this level of hard work, then I think they can have a really good run here and help set their club up for something big in the future. I don't know if they'll make the Champions League this year. I think that's going to be really tough. The results, like the defeat against Wolves, show you that there are just going to be those surprise weekends that West Ham don't quite click. I think for me, a main area is that they don't really have, although Mikel Antonio has been great, some weeks he's still a guy who's not a natural centre forward, if you know what I mean. Some weeks he makes it look like he was born there. And it just is what it is when a player has recently moved to a role in the last couple of seasons and hasn't played there for his whole career. But I think if you're a West Ham fan, you should be delighted. And actually, I think you should go to the Etihad Stadium believing that you can not just get a draw, you could probably win the game. You just need to make life really, really hard. I think of all the teams in the Premier League who can sit there defensively in a structure and make life hard for the opposition, it's West Ham United. Spring traps in their final third to win the ball back, lull you into a false sense of security, and then players get around the ball, win it back really aggressively, and they can try and get you on the counter-attack. And this is the sort of game, I think, that they could do really well in.
Yeah, I agree. I think, if you think of Jarrod Bowen, who's really sort of come of age this season, I feel, Fornals, who's been fantastic as well, and Benrahma, that sort of 3 behind Antonio. If you can get the ball to Antonio, look, you're not really going to play through Man City and dominate the ball, and certainly West Ham aren't. But if you can get the ball to them and then break, I think you've got the quality there to maybe spring a bit of a surprise. And I think just generally the fact that West Ham are such a difficult game for anyone right now. Says how far they've gone. And, you know, you think of the managers in the Premier League now. Rangnick, of course, has turned up. Bielsa, Conte, Klopp, Guardiola. And I think you got David Moyes needs to be in that list as well, because he's done incredible stuff at West Ham. I think you're right. That Mikel Antonio, that man, I think he could have a huge part to play, because he's two strikers at times when he's on it, you know, because he will hold up the ball, but he's also willing to run in the channels as well. So I think that's something that Man City have got to be really, really wary of, and they don't sort of, I guess, you know, drink the Kool-Aid on themselves and take their foot off the gas. But with Guardiola, that's never really, really going to happen. When it comes to this game, then, in terms of a prediction, we've alluded to the fact that there could be a surprise, but will there be a surprise? What do you think?
West Ham have only won one of their last 15 games away against Manchester City, but I think they've got a really good chance this time of springing a surprise. I think the one thing that you can say about West Ham United in terms of having that top of the table mentality now, and I think they do have that top end of the table mentality, it's if you lose a game, you have to go out and try and win the next match. You have to make sure you're not beaten again. You have to get a positive result. But I also think they're one of those teams, just as a character, personality, their fans all the way through the club. That underdog mentality is something that actually I think they thrive off. And I think going to the Etihad with the team that they've had so far this season, they will feel, like I say, that they can do something. They will have a plan for this. A lot of their players, by the way, would have been rested in that game in midweek against Rapid Vienna on a Thursday night. So I think they will be more fresh. Certainly their first choice players will be more fresh than maybe Manchester City's, who of course played that game against Paris Saint-Germain. So there's no reason why West Ham can't get a result here, but you just feel Manchester City could be too good. I think the one thing that is very stark still with Manchester City is that 6-yard box. You know, they are not getting players into those areas for those tap-ins that they have had time and time again, year on year, when Sergio Aguero was at the club. It's not happening for them right now. I'd start Gabriel Jesus through the middle because I think he's a nuisance. He can really try and get into Dawson there. For me, I think Manchester City will win. It's hard to look any other way, but I know the West Ham fans will feel like they can get something. It may be a 2-2 entertaining game.
Yeah.
My head says Manchester City 3-1.
3-1. Okay. I think, it's keep this off the accumulator. I think that's the important thing here, guys. But I agree. I think if Man City play to their potential, they win pretty much every game of football that they play. And therefore, I think with the squad that they've got and the players that they can bring in, it's going to be close, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for Man City. Hi guys, James Alcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.